The stars were quiet. Too quiet. Ralvek sat inside a small escape pod, floating in endless black space. He could not even hear the sound of his own breath anymore. The air inside the pod was thin, cold, and almost gone. Every time he inhaled, it felt like the universe was pulling the life out of him. He looked out through the cracked window. Nothing. Just darkness. He tried to move his fingers, but they felt heavy. The pod had been drifting for hours, maybe days. There was no way to know. The tiny screen on the dashboard blinked red again. Oxygen, 11%. Ralvek closed his eyes. He remembered the last moment before his ship exploded. His commander, General Thovek, had looked straight at him. No fear. No emotion. Only cold decision. Ralvek is useless. Fire on his position. Then everything went white. A blast. Screams. Heat. Bang. And then, silence. His own people. His own empire. They left him to die. Ralvek's hands shook. Why did they do it? Why kill their own soldier? He had only followed orders. He had only reported what he found. But maybe that was the problem. Maybe he had seen something he was not supposed to see. He forced himself to focus on the present. He was alone. Lost. Forgotten. The pod's emergency beacon was blinking weakly. It sent a distress signal, but no one answered. Not his fleet. Not any passing ship. No one wanted to help a soldier marked for death. He laughed softly, but it came out dry and broken. So this is how it ends, he whispered. The oxygen meter dropped to 10%. Ralvek leaned back and stared at the ceiling. It was covered in cracks from the explosion. A few screws were loose. One wire sparked every few minutes. He thought about pulling it out, ending everything faster. But something inside him refused to give up. He pressed the beacon again. A weak signal escaped into the dark. Please, anyone, help. No answer. Time passed. Maybe minutes. Maybe hours. His vision blurred. His head felt light. He could hear his heartbeat slowing down. Then, something changed. A tiny beep came from the scanner. Ralvek opened his eyes. The screen showed a faint movement far away. At first he thought it was another system error. The pod had many glitches. But the signal became stronger. Object detected. Distance, 3,200 meters. Approaching slowly. Ralvek's heart jumped. Who is it? He leaned close to the window and searched the darkness. At first he saw nothing. Then a shadow moved, a long shape, silent and dark, coming from the left side. His breath froze. The shape grew bigger. It had a metallic outline. Smooth, sharp, deadly. An enormous warship. But not one of his empire. The ship looked completely different. Its design was strange and elegant. Its surface reflected starlight in a ghostly silver color. No symbols. No flags. No familiar banners. It moved like a predator that had been waiting in the dark. Ralvek felt a chill run through his body. No, it can't be. The database in his pod tried to identify the ship. The screen flickered and then displayed a single line. Unknown human-class vessel. Ralvek's blood turned cold. A human ship. His empire feared humans. They said humans were dangerous. Silent. Mysterious. They fought with strange tactics, strange weapons, and impossible courage. Stories said humans never abandoned their own. Stories said humans were loyal until the end. Stories also said humans destroyed anyone who threatened them. Ralvek swallowed hard. What will they do to me? The human ship stopped only a few hundred meters from his pod. No weapons fired. No lights flashed. It simply floated there, watching him. Ralvek felt like an animal trapped in a cage. Please, he whispered. If you can hear me, I'm not a threat. I only want to live. But the ship did not answer. The silence was heavy. Almost painful. Then a faint hum vibrated through the pod. A bright light swept across his window, scanning every inch of his broken craft. Ralvek closed his eyes. If humans wanted to kill him, this was the moment. Seconds passed. Nothing happened. Then, a voice. Not robotic. Not angry. Calm. Strong. A human voice. Attention escape pod. This is the United Earth ship Resolute. We see you. Hold position. Do not panic. We are coming to help. Ralvek's eyes widened. Help. Humans, helping him? His own people had tried to erase him. But humans, strangers, enemies to his empire, were offering rescue. He tried to speak, but his voice broke. Why help me? The human ship did not answer his question. Instead, the voice returned, firm and reassuring. No one dies alone in our space. Ralvek felt tears in his eyes. Real tears. The first in many years. No one dies alone. Lights flashed around the pod. Mechanical arms extended from the human ship, ready to pull him in. Ralvek pressed his trembling hands against the window. Someone had finally heard him. Someone had finally answered. Someone had broken the silence of the stars. And they were human. The metallic arms from the human ship locked onto the escape pod with a soft clank. The whole pod shook as it was pulled toward the docking bay. Ralvek held onto the sides, afraid the old craft might break apart at any moment. For the first time in many hours he felt motion. Real, controlled motion. The blue lights of the human ship glowed brighter as the dock opened slowly, like the mouth of a giant metal beast. But there was no fear in Ralvek now, only confusion and disbelief. He had been prepared for death. He had accepted it. But now, someone wanted him alive. The pod slid inside the docking bay. Pressure seals hissed. A layer of fog formed around the damaged craft as the internal air systems activated. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. Ralvek waited for weapons, guards, something threatening, but nothing happened. Instead, the bay lights switched to a soft white glow. Another human voice spoke through the speakers. Pod secured. Air safe for opening. Ralvek stared at the hatch. His hands trembled above the release handle. Was this a trick? Was he being captured? Would humans interrogate him? Torture him? Or were the rumors about humans, about their honor and courage, actually true? He pulled the handle. The hatch opened. Warm air rushed in. Not cold like his pod. The air smelled clean. Strong. Alive. Ralvek took a deep breath and his chest no longer felt like it was collapsing. He stepped out. The dock was wide and bright. Smooth metal floors. Thick protective walls. Human machines hummed with low, gentle sound, unlike the aggressive noise of his Empire's ships. 7 humans stood waiting for him. They wore white and gray suits with blue stripes. Their helmets were transparent, showing calm faces. No anger, no fear, only focus. One human stepped forward. Tall. Broad shoulders. Sharp eyes but peaceful expression. "I am Captain Mira Holt of the Earth ship Resolute," she said. "Can you understand me?" Ralvek nodded slowly. "Why, yes, I understand." "Good," the captain replied. "We detected your distress signal. We brought you inside to save your life." Ralvek stared. Save his life? What? My own people left me to die, he whispered. Captain Mira did not look surprised. Instead, she said something Ralvek never expected. "Well, you're not in their space anymore. You're in ours. And here we don't leave anyone to die." Ralvek felt something strange inside him, a warm pressure in his chest. Respect maybe. Or gratitude. He had never felt this from his commanders. Never from his empire. The humans guided him to a medical room. A soft bed, clean instruments, screens showing his vital signs. Human medics moved quickly but gently, checking his wounds, giving him water, attaching monitors. One medic, a young man with dark hair, smiled at him. "You're safe now," he said. "Just rest." Safe. The word felt heavy. Unfamiliar. Powerful. Ralvek lay back and looked at the ceiling. It was smooth and bright, not cracked or broken like his escape pod. For the first time since the explosion he felt calm. But calm did not last long. An alarm beeped somewhere in the hall. Not loud but urgent. A human officer entered the room and handed Captain Mira a data pad. Her expression changed. "Captain?" Ralvek asked. She looked at him with sharp eyes. "Your pod had sensor damage, but our ship picked up something your scanners could not." Ralvek sat up slightly. What did you detect?" The captain turned the screen toward him. A dark shape appeared on the radar, far away but large. Very large. Ralvek's heart dropped. "That is a Kovarian Empire battleship," he whispered. Captain Mira nodded. "It is on a direct course toward your last location." Ralvek's hands shook. "They are searching for me. They will kill me. They will kill all of you too." The humans did not look afraid. Instead, Captain Mira's voice became stronger. "We didn't rescue you to throw you away. If your empire wants to hurt you, or us, we will deal with it." Ralvek stared at her. "You don't understand," he said. "My commander ordered my death because I found something. Something dangerous. Something they want to hide." Captain Mira leaned closer. "What did you find?" Ralvek swallowed. His mouth felt dry. His memory flashed, blue light, strange energy, a giant machine hidden inside an asteroid. "A weapon," he whispered. "My empire built a weapon that can destroy planets. I found it by accident. That is why they tried to kill me." The room fell silent. The humans exchanged looks, serious, focused, ready for action. Captain Mira straightened. Then we need to see that weapon before your empire uses it. Ralvek's eyes widened. You want to go near it? That is suicide. The captain shook her head. No. That is responsibility. She placed a hand on his shoulder. You survived what they tried to do to you. Now help us stop what they plan to do to everyone else. Ralvek had never been treated like this before. Not as a tool. Not as a soldier. But as a person. He nodded slowly. I will show you the coordinates. Captain Mira smiled for the first time. Good. Then we move at once. Behind her, the engines of the Resolute hummed deeper, stronger, like a giant waking from sleep. The humans were preparing. The humans were not running. And for the first time in his life, Ralvek felt something powerful. Hope. The bridge of the Resolute was alive with quiet movement. Screens glowed. Humans worked with calm focus, their hands moving fast over controls. No one shouted. No one panicked. Everyone knew their role. Ralvek stood near the center of the room, surrounded by humans who were once only stories to him. Dangerous stories. Violent stories. But the truth felt different, very different. Captain Mira stepped beside him. Show us the coordinates, she said. Ralvek nodded and tapped the glowing screen in front of him. His fingers trembled as he entered the numbers, the exact location he had discovered before his own fleet tried to kill him. The star map zoomed in on a dark, empty region of space. No planets. No stations. Nothing but dust clouds and dead rocks. But hidden inside was the weapon. There, Ralvek said. Inside that asteroid belt. Lieutenant Harris, the ship's navigator, narrowed his eyes. Nothing shows on our scan. Ralvek shook his head. They built a cloak field around the weapon. My empire never wanted anyone to know about it. Only High Command had the access codes. The humans studied the map carefully. What kind of weapon is it? Captain Mira asked. Ralvek's throat tightened. Even remembering it made him shiver. It was called the Star Spear Project, he whispered. A machine that fires unstable dark energy at a planet's core. It destroys the world from inside. Slow, but complete. The bridge fell silent. A weapon that could break planets. Ralvek looked down. When I discovered it, they said I was a threat. They tried to erase me. And now they will come after you again, Captain Mira said. Ralvek nodded softly. Yes, they will not stop. I know how they think. If the Empire believes you helped me, they will attack you too. Captain Mira did not look afraid. Instead, she stared at the star map with sharp, determined eyes. We are not leaving a planet killer in someone's hands, she said. Especially not a government that kills its own soldiers. Ralvek felt a strange warmth inside him. Humans were different. Strong, yes. Powerful, yes. But something more, something he never saw in his own empire. Honor. The Resolute turned slowly as its engines activated. The stars outside shifted, sliding across the window like glowing rivers. Course set, Lieutenant Harris said. Entering the asteroid field in 20 minutes. The shadow behind them. As the ship moved, a faint alarm beeped. One of the radar screens lit up. Contact behind us, said a human officer. Long range. Captain Mira looked immediately toward Ralvek. Your people? Ralvek scanned the signal. The outline was clear, a sharp design, heavy armor, aggressive size. Yes, he whispered. A Kovarian hunter ship. Fast, silent, and very deadly. The humans exchanged looks. How long until it reaches our position? Captain Mira asked. Maybe 15 minutes, the officer replied. Ralvek felt a chill crawl down his spine. They are not coming to talk, he said. They are coming to finish what they started. Captain Mira folded her arms. Then we reached the weapon first. A secret revealed. The Resolute entered the asteroid field. Huge rocks floated around them like frozen mountains. Their shadows created long black shapes across the hull. Ralvek pointed to a dark cluster of stones ahead. The weapon is inside that formation, he said. The humans steered the ship closer. As the asteroid shifted, something metallic flashed between them, something massive hiding under layers of debris. Lieutenant Harris zoomed the screen. What is that? Ralvek stepped forward, his eyes wide. The weapon wasn't just inside an asteroid. An entire factory was built in the asteroid, hidden under a cloak. Towers of metal. Spinning rings. Energy coils glowing in dark purple light. It's bigger than I remember, Ralvek whispered. The humans looked shocked. That thing could wipe out an entire system, a soldier whispered. Captain Myra's voice turned firm. If your empire activates it, millions will die. Ralvek lowered his head. That is why they wanted me dead. I saw too much. The realization. Suddenly the alarm screamed loud. A new contact appeared, closer, faster, and glowing red. The hunter ship just dropped out of warp. A human shouted. It's here. Ralvek's heart sank. They will fire as soon as they see you, he warned. They don't fear humans. They are arrogant. They think they cannot lose. Captain Mira smiled slightly. They've never fought us before. Her voice was calm, confident, preparing for fight. Shields up, she commanded. Weapons ready. Humans rushed into position. Laser turrets slid out from the sides of the ship. The engine hum grew deeper, stronger. Ralvek stared in disbelief. His empire used fear. Humans used preparation. His empire used threats. Humans used strategy. His empire left him to die. Humans were risking their lives to protect him and stop a planet killer. He slowly realized he was safer with the humans than he ever was with his own people. Captain Mira looked at him. Ralvek, we may need your knowledge. Stay close. He nodded. I will do everything I can. The human ship slowed, aiming directly toward the hidden weapon. The enemy hunter ship flashed its lights, charging weapons. The silence of space filled with tension. Ralvek took a deep breath. He had been left to die. But now he had a purpose. And humanity stood by his side. The Resolute floated in the shadow of the hidden asteroid factory. Dark metal structures stretched like claws around the massive weapon. Purple energy pulsed through the machine's rings, lighting the darkness with a sick glow. Ralvek stared at it with fear. They activated the core, he whispered. It's charging. Captain Myra's expression did not break. How long until it fires? Ralvek checked the readings. His hands shook. Maybe 1 hour. Maybe less. Once the dark energy core is stable, nothing can stop it. The bridge filled with a cold silence. Then the alarm sounded again, sharp, urgent. Hunter ship approaching fast, an officer shouted. Weapons ready on their side. On the main screen the enemy ship cut through the asteroid field like a knife. Its armor was dark red, covered in symbols of the Kovarian Empire. Massive cannons glowed along the sides. Ralvek whispered, they are here to kill us, all of us. Captain Mira stood tall. Open a channel. A communication window appeared. The face of a Kovarian commander flickered into view, eyes full of pure hate. Commander Thovek, the same general who had ordered Ralvek's death. Ralvek stepped back in shock. That's him? Thovek smirked. So the traitor survived, he said coldly. And humans picked up the trash. Captain Myra's voice was steady. Your soldier is under Earth protection now. Thovek laughed. A hard, cruel sound. You protect him? Then you die with him. The channel cut instantly. Red lights flashed through the Resolute. Enemy ship charging weapons. Captain Mira pointed forward. Hold position. Do not fire first. Ralvek stared at her. Why not? They will kill you. Mira shook her head. We don't start wars. We finish them. The battle begins. The enemy ship fired first. A beam of red plasma shot through the darkness, smashing into the Resolute's shield. The impact shook the entire ship. The lights flickered. Sparks burst from a nearby console. Shields at 70%, an officer shouted. Captain Mira stayed calm. Return fire. Human cannons glowed. A bright pulse of blue energy shot out, striking the enemy ship's armor. The Kovarian ship swerved, caught off guard. Ralvek felt adrenaline rise inside him. Humans fought differently. Not wild. Not desperate. But focused. Controlled. Another blast hit the Resolute. Shields dropped again. Shields at 48%. Lieutenant Harris spun the ship around an asteroid. We need cover. The huge rocks offered temporary protection as plasma blasts exploded against them, shattering stone into dust. Ralvek studied the enemy ship's movements. They are trying to push you out of the asteroid field, he said. They want open space. They want to use their long-range cannons. Captain Mira nodded. Then we won't give them that chance. She turned to her weapons officer. Target their engines. Aye, Captain. 2 human torpedoes launched into the dark, silent, fast, deadly. They streaked around the asteroid and hit the Kovarian ship's side with a massive explosion. The enemy ship spun, fire trailing behind it. Direct hit, a human shouted. Their left engine is down. Ralvek's eyes widened in disbelief. You damaged a Kovarian hunter ship, with only 2 torpedoes. Mira smirked. We build our weapons with purpose. The weapon's danger. But the victory was short. A deep rumble shook the entire asteroid field. Purple energy surged through the massive weapon inside the hidden base. A new alarm rang. Captain, an officer yelled. The dark energy core is reaching ignition levels. Ralvek grabbed the console, panic rising. They're going to fire the weapon early. Even if it destroys the whole factory, they don't care. Captain Mira clenched her jaw. They want to erase evidence. They want us dead. She turned to her crew. Prepare for emergency assault. We must destroy that weapon. Ralvek shook his head quickly. No. You can't attack it from here. The cloak field will absorb most of your fire. So how do we shut it down? Mira asked. Ralvek hesitated. His hands trembled. There is a control chamber inside the factory. Deep inside. If we destroy the regulator core, the weapon cannot fire. You can guide us? Mira asked. Ralvek nodded slowly. I know the path. But someone must go inside. The bridge went silent. Humans looked at each other. Then Captain Mira stepped forward. We'll go together. Ralvek's eyes widened. Captain, if you enter that place, the Empire will kill you. Mira smiled faintly. They're already trying. She tapped her communicator. All soldiers prepare boarding teams. We are entering the enemy facility. Ralvek felt a strange strength rise inside him. He was not alone anymore. The final push. Another blast hit the Resolute. Shields dropped to 29%. We can't take many more hits, an officer warned. Captain Mira made the call. All power to engines. Get us close to the asteroid factory. The ship surged forward, engines roaring. The enemy ship followed, struggling but still firing. Ralvek watched the factory grow larger on the screen. Dark metal towers. Energy rings glowing like angry suns. A machine designed to kill worlds. This is madness, Ralvek whispered. Mira placed a hand on his shoulder. No, she said softly. This is hope. The Resolute dove under a giant asteroid, engines blazing, heading straight toward the hidden weapon. Behind them, the enemy ship charged its cannons for one final kill shot. Ahead of them, the dark energy weapon pulsed with deadly power. Ralvek took a deep breath. Everything would be decided in the next moments. And he was standing with humans. The only ones brave enough to challenge his empire. The Earth defense grid flickered again, but this time the lights steadied. Deep under the Pacific, the hidden command stations came alive one after another. Giant circular halls filled with consoles, holographic tables, and silent officers who had trained their entire lives for a war no one believed would ever come. For centuries they had waited. Now, alarms that were silent for generations finally screamed across the deep ocean bases. In Command Core Delta, Commander Hale stood perfectly still as the hologram of the alien armada expanded above the central platform. Thousands of hostile ships, forming a burning arc of steel and fire, descended toward Earth like a dark storm. He spoke in a calm voice, but everyone could feel the tension behind it. Activate the remaining vaults. No more reserves. No more delays. This is now a full-scale breach protocol. A young technician turned in shock. Sir, all vaults? Even Vault 0? Hale looked at the screen without blinking. Yes, even that. The room fell into a heavy silence. Everyone knew what it meant. Vault 0 was never supposed to open. Not unless the planet was seconds from destruction. Above them, on the surface, the sky was turning red. Massive Vorg war cruisers entered the upper atmosphere, trailing fire as Earth's thin air scraped their armor. Their gravitational engines caused entire cities to tremble. Windows shattered. Birds scattered. Traffic signals flickered like dying lanterns. But Earth did not scream. It waited. Hale walked forward, hands behind his back. Status of surface defenses? First shield layer is holding, a lieutenant replied. Second layer at 72%. Orbital guns, charging. Good. Hale nodded once. Keep the silence. That was Earth's hidden strategy. No radio transmissions, no panicked signals, no planetary message begging for mercy. The alien armada expected chaos. Instead they received nothing. Their ships approached a quiet, dark planet that almost seemed abandoned. The Vorg commander inside the flagship grew impatient. His voice echoed through the armored bridge. Why is the human world silent? Why does no one resist? Scan again. His officers obeyed, but the results confused them even more. No active military fleets detected. No response signals. No global warnings. It looks like they are doing nothing, Commander. The alien leader narrowed his eyes. Impossible. Humans always struggle. Always fight. Why now? But he didn't finish. Because a small pulse of energy, barely visible, rose from Earth's oceans. Soft, quiet, almost gentle. The Vorg sensors caught it late. Deep under the sea, massive circular doors opened like ancient stone petals, releasing enormous bubbles of dark water. Something enormous began rising, so large that even the toughest officers stared at the growing shadow with disbelief. Commander Hale watched it appear on the hologram. Black Leviathan 1 has launched. The room trembled as the giant vessel broke the ocean surface, water exploding around it like the birth of a new island. The ship was unlike anything the Vorg had seen, dark, silent, its black metal absorbing all light, shaped more like a creature than a machine. Its engines didn't roar. They whispered. Above, in space, alien officers stared at their screens in horror. What is that? That design, those emissions? No known human faction possesses such technology. Another officer shouted, Commander. 5? No, 6 more signatures rising from different oceans. The Vorg commander felt the first flicker of fear. Halt the descent. Prepare the main cannons. He stopped again. Because Earth's oceans began shaking. More ships emerged. Silent. Black. Ancient. The hidden armada humanity had kept secret for 300 years. Commander Hale breathed out slowly. Signal to all Leviathans, he ordered. This is no longer a defensive war. Engage target fleets. Begin Phase 1. Lights turned red across every deep ocean command base. Sirens echoed like distant thunder. The Black Armada, Earth's most forbidden creation, finally awakened. And the galaxy's most feared empire, the Vorg Dominion, realized too late. Earth had never been silent because it was weak. It had been silent because it was preparing. The first clash began with no warning. High above the planet, the Black Leviathans broke through the clouds and ascended into space. 7 colossal vessels, each larger than the Vorg flagship, their hulls shimmering like liquid shadows. They did not broadcast identification codes. They did not send threats or war declarations. They simply moved. Like predators that had finally found prey. Commander Hale watched the live feed from deep underground. His face remained emotionless, but everyone around him felt the weight of what was coming. For 3 centuries, Earth had prepared for a day it prayed would never arrive. Now the day had arrived. Leviathan 1 is aligning, a technician reported softly. Leviathan 2 entering low orbit. Leviathan 5, cloaking systems active. Every statement felt like a drumbeat of fate. Above Earth, the alien armada reacted with panic and confusion. The Vorg commander shouted orders across the bridge of his flagship. All batteries prepare to fire. Target the black ships. Do not let them form a formation. But they were already too late. Leviathan 1 bent space. Not metaphorically, literally. A ripple, faint and silent, spread around the dark vessel. Nearby stars seemed to shimmer like reflections in water. Vorg navigation screens flashed warnings. Gravity field anomaly detected. Danger, spacetime distortion. Before the aliens could react, Leviathan 1 vanished from its position and reappeared behind the forward battle group. So close its shadow fell across the hulls of 20 alien destroyers. Then its main weapon awakened. A glowing line of pale blue energy traced along the Leviathan's underside. The light was soft, almost beautiful, like moonlight drifting across calm water. Then, a single beam. Then, precise, soundless. It passed through the alien destroyers like a knife through fog. For a moment nothing happened. Then the ships split apart, cleanly, perfectly, quietly drifting into 2 pieces as sparks floated into the void. 20 warships cut in half by one shot. Inside the Vorg flagship, officers froze. Their commander's voice cracked for the first time. What technology is this? How did humans build such weapons? Another officer whispered, trembling. Commander, these readings, these energy signatures. I think these ships are centuries older than our empire. The commander looked horrified. Impossible. Humans were primitives 300 years ago. But reality didn't care about his beliefs. Leviathan 2 accelerated using no visible thrusters, weaving through enemy fire with unnatural movements. Vorg plasma bursts missed every time, as if the ship predicted each shot before it was fired. Leviathan 3 released a cloud of microdrones, tiny dark spheres that scattered like a swarm of insects. They attached themselves to alien hulls and pulsed softly. The result was immediate. Alien cruisers shut down mid-flight, their engines dying, their shields collapsing, their control systems frozen like they were trapped inside a digital coffin. EMP, a Vorg officer shouted. No, something far more advanced. It overrode our systems, completely. Down on Earth, Commander Hale stood calmly as he watched the chaos unfold. Status of civilian zones? He asked quietly. All shield domes remain secure, the lieutenant replied. No landings detected. The Vorg are staying in orbit. Good, Hale nodded. They will stay there. They never expected us to have these ships. He looked up at the massive hologram of the battle. And they still haven't seen the real weapons. A sudden explosion lit up space. Leviathan 4 emerged from behind a shattered carrier, its dark armor glowing faintly like heated stone. It fired point defense beams that moved faster than any alien sensor could track, cutting through missiles and drones like falling sparks. Panic spread across the Vorg armada. Some ships tried to retreat. Others attempted to regroup. But the Black Armada was everywhere, moving like shadows under moonlight, striking with impossible precision, disappearing before the enemy could aim. The alien commander's voice was shaking now. All remaining ships formed defensive rings. Protect the flagship. We must. His words stopped, because he saw something no alien in history had ever seen. Earth was opening. Massive continental plates shifted outward like giant stone doors. Hidden beneath the crust, ancient metallic layers glowed, revealing enormous circular structures. Not bases. Not shield generators. Launch platforms. Hundreds. Commander Hale turned to his communications officer. Begin full activation of the exoplanetary fleet. The officer swallowed hard. Sir. That means revealing everything. Hale nodded once. Everything. Across the planet, massive tremors shook oceans and mountains as the sealed platforms readied themselves. What the galaxy believed was Earth's mantle was not entirely natural. For 300 years, Earth had been building outward, downward, and deeper. The Vorg commander stared at the sensors. No, this cannot be. They have more ships. How many? His sensor officer whispered. I think, thousands. And the truth finally hit him. Earth had never been silent. Earth had been preparing for war. A war the galaxy had no idea was coming.